Shrimp is a type of seafood that we see very often. There are many kinds for us to choose from. In the previous video, we talked about many common shrimp.
And today,
we will have many strange and wonderful new species. Some of them seemed familiar. Some are suspicious. This thing is even called shrimp. Let's start with some general knowledge. Shrimp belong to the phylum Cynophora, Crustacea, soft steel, a general term for some animals with relatively slender shapes. Strictly speaking, soft steel. Only animals of the order Sumac can truly be called shrimp. The term dead pig eyes refers to the fact that shrimp have 5 pairs of thoraxes. That is, the cross is not strong enough. These shortcomings can be used to walk. It can also be converted into weapons such as a front-mounted pistol. This episode is all about shrimp from bamboo and silkworm trees. Without further ado, welcome to this episode of Common News. Uncommon shrimp. The most familiar type of shrimp to us is the shrimp shell. For example, the colloquial term for shrimp. The shrimp that left were also in the surrounding area. The most common is the white leg shrimp. Russian shrimp. What are some common types of shrimp available in the market? These are the 2 default options. Especially white leg shrimp, because mature farming is more common. If the tutorial comes up, what is the earliest shrimp in the minds of Chinese people? It should be Chinese shrimp, also known as Chinese prawn, mainly produced in the Yellow Sea and Bohai Sea of my country. If you don't understand it, you must have heard the story of Qingdao shrimp. Where are the so-called wild-caught shrimp that the scammers are selling? It's a few shrimp mascots posing as real shrimp. Truly extraordinary wild-caught shrimp. Refers to Chinese shrimp. This kind of shrimp, actually buying it is very troublesome. Not to mention living organisms. Only a brief period of autumn. It is their failure to remember. He was actually enormous. Longer than a hand. It weighs about 70 or 80 grams. It can be said to be one of the best. The color is much lighter than that of the sizzler shrimp. The tail and back will have a slight reddish tinge. They are female and male. The male's reproductive organs will turn yellowish. In colloquial speech, it's called yellow shrimp. The females, on the other hand, will appear bluish-green. In colloquial speech, it's called green shrimp. Of course, these are not the important distinguishing points. If you search directly online, what about the pictures below the name? I can't see it at all. Here is a method to distinguish them. Shrimp have 2 pairs of antennae. These extra long ones are the second antennae. The short, slanted one is the first antenna. There was a defensive arrow in his chest. What about the goose gizzard of the white leg shrimp? It is shorter than the season of the first antennae. The frontal tendon of the prawn is very long. Beyond the first antennae season. From the 1970s to the 1990s. What about farmed shrimp in my country? Many are Chinese shrimp, but in 1993, a shrimp white spot syndrome virus, sweeping across China's shrimp farming industry. Shrimp infected with this virus. The cephalothorax will develop white flattening. Just 1 week. All the whole sugar prawns will die. This is to allow varieties. And the more mature farming techniques of Litopenaeus vannamei become mainstream. China's shrimp farming industry has shrunk dramatically. Wild ones? Low yields due to overfishing. The price of female shrimp has become very expensive. What are the prices of live animals at the seafood market? It's not by weight. Instead, it's about the individual. One costs 45. As for the dead ones I'm buying now, they cost 30 each. The moon shrimp really tastes amazing. Very fresh. The freshness I'm referring to isn't the freshness of a fresh plant. Rather, it is pure freshness. Oyster sauce versus message. Come and try it. What does it taste like? Although it's steamed, it has a very strong aroma. That means this thing doesn't require many materials. I think just a little salt is enough. Yes, he uses a natural scent. Just add a little salt. It feels like a finished dish. However, in terms of price, milk shrimp is too extravagant for eating meat. Locals often use it to make soup and cook dishes, especially his shrimp head. No longer is it just red shrimp paste in the trash. On the contrary, it is the source of umami. Of course, all of this is based on the premise that you eat the real name once. If it were any other type of shrimp, they would have been ripped off terribly. Speaking of shrimp, lobsters are a prime example. One thing to note, true lobsters refer to species in the family Lobsteridae. They didn't have pliers. Only food is insufficient. It also has very long and exaggerated tentacles. In other countries, steamed lobster is also called spiny lobster. In mainland China, we often hear about buffets. I eat small green lobsters often. The main types are often wavy lobster and Chinese lobster. The reason it's called little green dragon is because it's actually green dragon. The popularity of spiny lobster. Wild ornate lobsters? It is a Class 2 protected animal in China. This is a picture of a spiny lobster I took in Malaysia. It can be seen that it is very large, coarser than toilet paper. Its body length is even longer, reaching 60 centimeters. I have a new mini lobster here today. His feet are relatively long. That's why it's called Tibetan bamboo lobster. You can see the spots on his body, on his legs, and sides of his abdomen and back. They all have white spots. The carapace should be larger. Lobsters are a very handsome type of shrimp. And what's the focus of this issue? It will be a relative of the lobster. The appearance of silkworm shrimp is very unique. Some people say he's like a silkworm and call him sea data. In other countries, it's called slipper lobster. Their eyes are flatter, not very protruding. There are two strange things on the duck's head. See the picture. This is actually their flat second antennae. The whole shrimp looks like a bulldozer. They're shaped bulky. What about the strength of the abdominal thrust? It feels like I can barely control a lobster with just one hand. Therefore, they mostly rely on camouflage, protecting itself with a rough and thick exoskeleton. The big guy you see now, called lean-to financial shrimp. Its rough, reddish-brown skin gives it the appearance of a rhinoceros shrimp, the title of seaweed truck, beneath his bulky exterior. Actually, it hides a unique design. If you look closely at his legs, you'll find it's a vibrant, bright yellow. There are also purple markings on its legs and antennae. This print-style color scheme resembles a circle. Personally, I really like it. Young and beautiful. Lean-to female shrimp is not very rare. But this is the season now. It's still hard to buy it at most stalls, due to a lack of artificial breeding. Only random fishing with the wrong net is allowed. Its price is as high as 400 yuan per kilogram. Fresh, live female prawns are perfect for sashimi. But after being transported, he probably won't survive. Therefore, steaming is the only option, because it was originally red. So, what happened after he got to know him? The color hasn't changed much either. What about his abdomen? There were also countless tiny shrimp eggs. It tastes very good, because he is big. The outer shell is thick, so it's very difficult to break. Be careful with your hands. His muscles are very well developed, one piece like abs. Overall, it is very tough. But look closely. The meat is also crystal clear. Not only beautiful, it's also crisp and refreshing when you bite into it. Considering this shrimp has been chilled for a day, the quality is indeed very good. Get out of class just ended. There are also many edible shrimp. Some of their heads are very large. It's called shrimp mock. For example, this one has an extremely complex pattern, known as Antarctic salt-dried shrimp, even though it includes Antarctica. But they did not live in Antarctica. After all, Hainan was also in a very difficult situation. His body was flatter than Caxia's. There are also many rough hairs on the body surface. It looks even more silly. Thick movements are also more sluggish. Her abdominal muscles are also less than Caxia's. The meat at the gathering was also very springy. How translucent is the chicken? The shrimp in Billantuni are a little worse. It has a firmer and chewier texture than dried shrimp. Given that he only has 60 of the price of Lintuni shrimp, the quality is quite good. Sometimes, we can also see another type, flatter shrimp shell species. Because it is so flat, therefore it is also called loose shrimp, flat shrimp, mantis shrimp, etc. This type of shrimp has 910 feet at the tip of its second leg. The ruler on the side looks fuzzy. So this should be a hairy ape that looks like a shrimp, if his fifth pair is insufficient. There are unfinished pliers. That means he is a female. The surface area of Maoyuan shrimp. It's all supported by its outer shell. This makes the outer casing very easy to break during transportation. The amount of meat wasn't very much, because live Maoyuan shrimp are not commonly seen. All shipped frozen. So regardless of the amount of meat or the taste, both must be far superior to the former. Do you mind its price? It's much cheaper than the two mentioned above, which is acceptable. After all, in the ocean, there are so many delicious species to choose from. This shrimp is a great chestnut. High protein, low fat. They even concentrated all the bones on the outside. Looks like this. He really worked hard. Annual shrimp supply of 10 million. More than 90 of the byproducts were discarded. Thinking about it this way, there are so many creatures in the ocean. How much cutting-edge technology is hidden inside? Deep-sea sponges from which anti-cancer components are extracted. Algae recycling for manufacturing environmentally friendly materials. Deep-sea fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids. The ocean is like an untapped future factory. Fish oil? Just like the star Alex used by marine life. I started last year. I've been eating all along. High-purity fish oil in small blue bottles ocean layer. Even more so. For me, being able to lie down instead of sit is a sign of good manners. Staying up all night is a normal part of leisure life. The fried chicken delivery is a renewal of the order. In the evening, the blood vessels also became overburdened. And what about the malt-based diet supplements in fish oil? Because these problems are not a problem. Unfortunately, most people, those who do not meet the 500-day recommended diet of European and American diets, basal intake. The latest data shows that approximately 5 adult bodies. Both properties are problematic. Why not take some preventative measures for your body? We can't wait until our medical report turns out bad before we regret it. Downwell has become seriously and thoroughly damaged. The key ingredient is OMG. It's a pity about the processing technology for high-purity fish oil, long controlled by large foreign pharmaceutical companies. In the past, if you want high-purity food, you'll have to obediently buy imported products. Now, Haley-san, get the detection content of OMG3. It was directly increased to 985. What's behind this content? It is a technological breakthrough achieved over 5 years at the seabed level. Choose high-purity fish meat. No longer dependent on imports. You need to know the fish meat content of the fish you usually buy at pharmacies. Usually only 30. The difference is quite significant. Some organizations want to ask, can I just eat a few more? If it really doesn't work, has someone actually tried it? They all ate enough 450 milligrams of OMG meal. Take 250 content capsules. It's not even as good as a single grain of seawater. And the granular layer, insisting on using a very advanced RTG structure. That's equivalent to increasing the absorption rate by 3 times. Sneaking a pill. Others have chosen to take 3 pills. There's something worth mentioning. The fish oil in the little blue bottle. It is a skinfish from a fish farm in Peru. This fish farm is far from pollution. Crucian carp are at the bottom of the food chain. There will be no negative polarity effect. Of course, it's reassuring to eat it. Halishing has a 71-year-old pharmaceutical formula. Local brand, easy to use even without makeup. I have a need now, or should I look to the country? Goods meet with peace of mind. Buy 3 bottles now and get a free travel size bottle. This is an omega-3 upgrade, less than the cost of a carton of milk per day. There are also exclusive discounts for me in the comments section. The 618 shopping festival has already begun. Double discount. Once you miss it, it's gone. Besides the ocean, there are also many edible shrimp in freshwater. The most famous of them all is the crayfish. The representative is crayfish. Its low status became a major advantage in life. Its official name is crustacean prawn. It is a species native to the Americas. So, does China have any native freshwater boiled shrimp? Oil is just mushroom oil. Although its name sounds like lugu, a type of mushroom. It looks like a mushroom, but a bunch of broth. However, this revealed that it was actually boiled shrimp. Pole mushrooms. It is a species unique to Northeast Asia. Belongs to the family Laminariaceae within the superfamily Clavaria. Crayfish family. Powerful mobility. With impressive attack capabilities. The crayfish family, represented by crayfish, can conquer. In many parts of the world, they have all become invasive species. But laguco is a peculiar case. Since Belarusian origin, the species of the Lagidae family even extend to Northeast Asia. I've hardly moved from my spot. It just hides a few arches that feel at ease. In Hokkaido, these areas around Kai Island have expanded a little. Such a lack of ambition is like planting a ghost tree. Regarding habitat, Lago also prefers to remain stable if possible. Compared to soft, flat mudflats, he prefers to live among the 3 streams. Requires more oxygen. Only clear flowing water can sustain life. Extremely sensitive to pollution. His personality is also very fierce. Are the same kind of people too close together? There could be casualties overnight. Lago really likes to pile up small 4-point objects. This is because, in the wild, they lived in the sturdy crevices of rocks, just like in the play, in order to better dig out tiny cracks under the rocks. Their legs also became shorter and shorter. The body is also flatter. In addition, crayfish are located in the abdomen. It needs to be inserted into the reproductive organs. This leads to a problem. His shrimp were too small. But his shrimp meat is even more tender than crayfish meat. The flavor is quite strong. Therefore, it's not suitable for cooking with the same seasonings as crayfish. In Northeast China, people use spicy mushrooms as a seasoning, stewed with tofu. Do you have any freshwater shrimp with large meat? There are level 4 Chinese lobsters, also known as red mantis shrimp. Freshwater blue lobster. It comes from Australia. Belongs to the family Ornithomimidae. It is not closely related to the Chlamydia family. Looking like that is purely ecological. Similar insect repellent and purification. The font in the name. It refers to the area behind his eyes. Because of the 4 spinous processes that extend into the chest, it is smooth. It's just a simple description using adjectives. It refers to its smoother body surface than that of crayfish. 4 Seasons yellow flower shrimp, because of its vibrant color and adaptability to freshwater. So it can also be kept as a pet, due to its enormous size, thick armor, and high defense. Once inside the tank, an aura of dominance alone was enough to frighten away other species. It made the whole tank of water a mess. He is very active. After one night, they were happily everywhere. They're still alive. 1 and lobster. Species completely unrelated to crayfish. But it's called blue lobster. It always gives people the impression of being a fame seeker, enjoying the feeling of paying an IQ tax. So, what does it taste like? After being steamed at high temperature, the blue lobster was designed by A.O. Bing, transformed into Neza color scheme. But its red color is different from that of crayfish. We remove the outer shell. You will find that its negative electrode is very large. It's very large, both absolutely and relatively. This is because you're going to leave get out of class, you shrimp. No need to undertake reproductive function. His genitals. It grows at the base of the chest where there is insufficient accumulation, thus freeing up space. Where is the space? This allows their abdomens to grow freely, more resilient and powerful. It is also more delicious and tempting. It has a very chewy texture. Similarly, no seasoning is added. But there were no crayfish. To elaborate on that dry, firewood-like feeling, it actually tastes a bit like sea shrimp. It is indeed one of the best freshwater shrimp. If we were to say that large prawns belong to a group, much more common than crayfish, that's the family long-armed shrimp. On the market, common long-armed shrimp, as a shrunken giant freshwater prawn. In the rural areas of inland China when I was a child, let alone snails and shrimp. Even shrimp are hard to buy. Only during banquets. You can eat a kind of fried half-sized shrimp. These shrimp are river shrimp caught from the river. Shrimp in Qi Baishi's paintings. The formal title of the essay is Japanese Early Shrimp, although it's called Japanese shrimp. But this is just a naming convention. It just so happened that it was discovered in Japan. It is distributed in most parts of the country. Its body length is generally between 3 and 8 centimeters. Even the largest individuals rarely exceed 10 centimeters. Its color is affected by the surrounding atmosphere. If you live in a vast area like a reservoir or lake, a place washed clean by water, its color will be more transparent. However, if they live in pond algae and small fish tanks, what if the water quality is more fertile? Its color will become darker and darker. Just like the young man in the video. The darker color of me. It seems like all I can do is pick cotton. Japan's feet, also known as the Baijid thief. This thief has a reputation for being a thief with a special kind of spirit, because of the Japanese feet on his body. You can see a unique personality rarely seen in invertebrates. If Legus' personality is fierce. The Japanese character that led to their downfall was one of boldness and meticulousness. There are animals in the surrounding area with poor physical condition. Even if they are not dead yet, they will die a horrible death. Sneak attack. Small fish and shrimp are often secretly killed by them. Even if there are large animals around, they would also be right under the noses of the giant beasts. Quickly switch points. Steal food. If they could do top-secret spaceflight, it's definitely a pedicure gun. Daring to launch a sneak attack on a full-scale 6-unit brigade. Perhaps it's because it's too small. Therefore, in supermarkets with stable supply, Japanese stir-fried shrimp is actually harder to find. Some roadside vendors, some early ripening shrimp will randomly spawn. As the second episode of the Foodie Hero video, this time, many species resembled Japanese breakfast. You need to try your luck and dig as hard as you can. We made a special trip to Hainan. Drive to Asia's central fishing port at 2 a.m. They didn't discover it until 7 o'clock. The fishing port is currently undergoing repairs at the hospital. We searched dozens of places in the city before we finally found a live animal. I just realized how much everyone supports my video. Clicking the link to place an order gives me peace of mind regarding my income. I think it was all worth it.